Good afternoon, class. So this is my video discussion on chapters 3 through 5. So I thought that these couple chapters were pretty interesting. I thought that it hit a lot of things that I definitely kind of already knew a little bit about, but not too much about. So it was good that a lot of it was re-emphasized and it went deeper into it. So I think a lot of things that I didn't know before that was taught to me in these chapters is just a lot of the psychology part of it and in depth. I also like the way that this chapter uses lots of examples, like real life examples, and that really helps me to be able to relate it to me and to situations, whether I've been in those situations or not. The examples that the textbook uses, I think, are good. So some key things that I learned from these chapters was how I like the way that they define motivation and how they defined it as the direction and intensity of effort. So I've known what motivation is. I've just never seen an exact definition like this, and I thought this was very interesting because it makes a lot of sense. And motivation is something that you need to do most physical activities. You got to have a reason for why you're doing it. And this is also going to help me in my professional career. I'm currently doing observation hours and going through the TEACH program here at Oneida Lake. So I'm at a high school, in a high school PE classroom, where I see students' motivation levels just really low because they're in a PE classroom that they don't want to be in, and they're just taking it just so they can get the credit. So definitely motivation is one of the biggest factors that they lack. And so this is definitely was spot on with what can help me through my professional career. And the theories that it talks about, the theories and achievements that it talks about, I thought it was good for chapter 3. And chapter 4, I liked also what it talked about stress and anxiety and what they are and how you can measure it. I never really knew how exactly you could measure those two. And identifying sources of anxiety and stress, it was also made a lot of sense, a lot of the sources of anxiety and stress, and how they can affect an athlete's performance or someone's performance. It was very interesting. And for chapter 5 also, seeing the differences between competition and cooperation, and just kind of seeing how all this kind of still ties into some motivation, and kind of how these chapters don't exactly all go together, but they still kind of have some things that you can kind of use for the next chapter. So like cooperation and competition and balancing both of those efforts and not just cooperating and not competing or vice versa. And so all of this is something that I plan to use in my professional career, which currently my plans is to be a teacher. So as I'm going to these doing these observations and I'm working as a clinical teacher at Fox Tech, competition, cooperation, stress and anxiety, motivation, all of this I can integrate it and just use it. And this class so far is doing a great job of backing up and giving me some backup knowledge on a lot of these things that I'm eventually going to need to use. Thank you.